I want to share an insider story with you that happened to me last week that usually I just go along to get along and brush it off and don't say anything about it. And last week when this happened, I've reached that tipping point, like enough is enough. And I have to say thank you to the ladies out there who are talking about feminist microaggressions at the grassroots level, because you are the ones who gave me the idea to go ahead and do this. This was my own rendition of this. So here we go. All right. Last week I was sitting at my desk like I usually do, doing my emails, like doing the stuff that we all do in our businesses at our desk, and ding, a notification came through. And this notification that came through was from a connection request on the business social media platform that's out there that starts with an L. So it was on that platform, and this request came through, and it was from, I'll say, a millennial male. And typically when connection requests come through from men, my guard goes up, because most men who come across that app that make connection with me, they see the money part. They don't really register the somatic part, and they don't spend too much time trying to figure out what that is, because they just go into their predatory business pitch of, this is what I'm doing, and do you want, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I'm over that. And so this gentleman who came through, he was a little different. He came through and started having a networking conversation with me, which was refreshing, because usually this business platform, you get clobbered over the head with predatory business stuff that's all about the person contacting you, and they just suck all the air out of the room. And those are the folks I shut down and basically say, hey, we're not going anywhere unless you're able to do relationship building with me, and send them along their merry way. But this gentleman, he was having a conversation. We were having a networking conversation, which was nice. And then he did a hard right turn towards the direction of like what he wanted. Okay, I'll play along. And what he wanted me, he put a question out there for me. He said, I'm writing business articles. What business article would you like to see? A long pause on my part. The trigger reaction in me was like, I am so goddamn tired of propping up men and doing all their work for them, and they suck me dry. Like, that was the thought bubble happening in my head. And so I took a look at this conversation that I was having with this person over the internet, and I thought, all right, time to shut it down. So I texted him back and I said, well, thank you. I was kind about it. I said, thank you for asking. But the business article, the topics that I would like to see, you probably, it's not in your wheelhouse. You probably wouldn't be able to write about it. And then I let it go. And I think the thing that got me is he didn't even come back to respond to that. He didn't even acknowledge that. He basically, the whole the ghost thing. And I slept on it, because I'm HSP and I'm EQ money, and I'm thinking about these are the sensitive things that hit me. And usually, like, the person, me in the past, would either just kind of lump it and kept going and absorbed that as another energy loss in my, another battery draining energy loss, not being recognized for who I am. See, like in the conversation he and I were having, he never once asked me, who are you? What do you do? Like, I was giving him all of my energy. So that's a battery drainer for HSP businesswomen like me. Well, I slept on it for the night. I came back, and that whole feminist microaggression thing, I'm like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that, see how that works. Let's do a little workshop here. So I came back to the conversation, and I told this young man, I said, you know what? I slept on it, and actually, I am going to give you the article, the business article that I would love to see you write. And so, ladies, this was me giving myself permission, regardless of how he was going to respond to it. This was me giving myself permission to go, here I am, universe. This is what I need. This is what I want to see out there. This is what I want answered to. I mean, he did ask the question, what article do you want written? So I said to him, I would love to see you write an article about female Gen X, highly sensitive business women who are in recovery from deep trauma, being functional in the business space. That's the article I want to see. He didn't skip a beat. He came back. It was just one-liner. He said, that's too specific. You want to know my thought bubble? My thought bubble was, fuck that. Because I have been gaslit for so long, unacknowledged for so long, required to go along to get along, take my lumps, get my battery drained. Decades of this in the business workplace, because if you steer outside those lines, you're too much, you're too much, or you're too little, or you're a handful. And I've had it. And so my feminist microaggression in the business place with this young man, he came back and said that one-liner, that's too specific. And I answered him and I said, you asked me the business article you wanted to, you asked me for a business article topic. I gave it to you, and now you are judging me. You're judging this topic. And he kind of spun a little bit, and he, tried to do the professional business excuse thing. And then he started referring me to people, which was laughable because he was referring me to people who were 20 years younger than I am, not in my business bracket. Like he had no clue how to handle me. And the whole time this was going on, because mind you, I was treating this as a workshop. I finally arrived at a place where, feelings not getting hurt. I'm treating this as a workshop. I'm saying, universe is asking me this question. So, okay, I'm going to give some pushback on it. This is what I want. This whole thing was going on. And internally, what I experienced for the first time was being able to say, even though I'm HSP, even though I'm in PTSD recovery in my business space and will be for the rest of my life, even though I'm a non-traditional business owner, even though I'm a woman who is in an older generation, even though I am all of these things, I am still legitimate. I'm not going anywhere. I am in your face. You ask the question. Here's the answer. You need to deal with it. And I think it's the first time I was able to say in the business space, the generalized business space, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is what I want, and I'm not going anywhere. And it felt goddamn good to do that. So you can imagine the rest of that interaction didn't go too well, and he tried to get out of it as fast as he could because he came in thinking he's doing his generalized business networking thing, and he tangled with a cougar, and I get the double entendre with that. He tangled with a cougar who left claw marks on him because I'm not playing anymore. So I'm leaving that with you, ladies. No matter how sensitive you are, no matter how EQ you are, no matter what age bracket you fall in, no matter how much we hide ourselves in the shadows because we're afraid of this stuff, the timing is with us. The wind is in our sails. And take my story and do something with that, because the women who gave me the feminist microaggression idea in the business space, I took it, I ran with it, I came back with something positive for myself. I hope you can go out and do something positive for yourself, because we don't have to be battery drained or hidden or unacknowledged. Like, we can really truly stand and be who we are and clear that space out and make other people take note. The end of the story is he he ghosted me. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle that space that I was holding. And so, lesson learned. Don't back down.